for Curse versus oRb here in the losers brackets. This is like round 1 of losers brackets. The only team so far to actually be fully eliminated from the tournament, if I'm not mistaken, is actually Team Dynamic. They were just taken out in a really good best-of-3 series that was MTW.NA versus Team Dynamic. And so Team Dynamic, you know, they're a young team. They've got a lot of room to grow, so I know we'll see them at future events as they come into play. Hopefully we'll see them, you know, regionals.
I believe they've actually qualified for IPL 5 already, too. So,
awesome.
You know, they're going to be at the next IPL event. And, you know, I want to see more of them. They do have to grow, but
they've got the potential. They've got the youngster potential. I think they've got a little gusto. Yeah, they've got a little young gusto in them, and they'll take it to town, I'm sure, at some point in time. But right now, those bans coming out from both teams, Malphite and Darius being banned out from Curse, while oRb has decided to get rid of Saint Vicious's famous. I say that interestingly, just because we did see him kind of get stomped by Singapore Sentinels on his own Shyvana, on his little baby Shyvana. And Shen being banned out as well from oRbit. And now Rumble being the third ban for Curse to just round out their list of bans. And we'll see what the third ban in here is in just a second from oRb. But it looks like you're making finger gestures like you want to say something, Studio. Well, so I'm going to allow you right now to say something if you'd like. Right now, just jump on right in right now.
Darius ban is totally in Yuzuki. He plays him quite a bit. I'm actually surprised they're going for it. Most teams like for him to pick Darius just because they can counter him, they gank him like crazy, they go nuts on him. But we do have Ari being banned out. The final ban coming out from oRbit, aimed at Jackie. They will probably go for Karthus.
You think so? I think they'll pick up a Karthus this early? I know Karthus has a lot of problems in lanes, a lot of lane counters, you could say. So do you think they'll put him out this early and let Jackie counter pick into him?
I got to have a quick bite with oRbit a few hours ago, and they're like, well, we want to pick Karthus, but what if Jackie picks up Ari? That's going to be scary. We don't want to deal with that. With Ari being banned, Shyvana being banned, they banned what they wanted to, and that leaves them open for the Karthus. But Westrise, with that Vladimir, something we actually saw Blaze banning out quite a bit recently, because they were scared of the Vlad. Vlad actually amazing in the 1v2 situation.
Vlad too strong is what you hear most of the times, I believe. And now Westrise is going to be reigning in that champion of Vladimir, and he plays a very, very good Vladimir up top. You know, Westrise, it's discussed, debated, lauded over. There's many things you could say about it, about Westrise's shallow, his kiddie pool of champions, I suppose you could say. He's trying to broaden them. He's trying to get his horizons just broad just a hair. But Vladimir just kind of fits right on in there as a fantastic top laner. He does really, really well. He's the key points to him is he scales exorbitantly well into late game. He does very, very good. He's really great at team fights. You know, the Hemo Plague, the 12% increased damage that all enemies hit and affected by take. And he's also... to boot, he's very safe in lane, I would say. The Sanguine Pool can get him out a lot of bad times.
Except one thing can actually go through Sanguine Pool. That's going to be Maokai's Twisted Advance. So they have a jungler already on oRbit. It's going to go ahead and have the potential to actually gank Vladimir incredibly well. So they got a lot going for them with that pick. I like the early Maokai pick, making sure Curse doesn't get it. And now Westrise, Vladimir is normally a safe pick. Now he has to play a bit more cautiously. And we have the Alistar and Morgana coming out from Curse. Alistar we saw being played amazingly well by Singapore Sentinels with that pulverize, with that headbutt, so much ganking pressure, so much CC in any sort of team fight. And, you know, Jackie on Morgana, that is just, you know, a classic matchup. Very,
very scary. And it looks like Yuzuki will be running an Aurelia up top against Vladimir, which is heralded most of the time as a decent counter pick to Vladimir. She can Blade Surge in, deal a lot of Heat 10 style true damage to him, and then Equilibrium Strike for good measure. Vladimir is very effective at harassing his transfuses on a relatively short cooldown. He starts skyrocketing at level 9 whenever his cooldown of his transfusion reaches, I think, kind of a floor of like 3 seconds, maybe 4 seconds at best. He can trade with the best of them. So Aurelia able to use that to her advantage, because the more he goes in and more he transfuses her, the lower her health becomes. That allows her to get a stun from her Equilibrium Strike if she's at a lower percentage health than he is, rather than a slow, and then that equals more damage from her Heat 10 style true damage. That equals, you know, more chases potentially from a Blade Surge, more damage in a gank, blah, blah, blah. I'm just prattling on here pretty much.
Beaten up pretty badly.
Yeah, so a great pickup there.
Something cool coming out from oRbit that's actually scary from my perspective is that Gragas. So Gragas versus NY Jackie's Morgana. We used to see Gragas used a lot versus Morgana just because his ultimate would displace her. Yeah, she could use her ult in response, but if Gragas put her in the worst spot, she would just die. The thing is, Jackie actually has such good reaction reaction times on the Black Shield for both himself and the rest of his team. If somebody's about to get ulted by Gragas, he normally will get the Black Shield off. He will waste his ult, and they'll have to sit there without a good form of initiation or disengage or chaos causing that Gragas does. And Jackie's consistently been able to do this in the past, so that they may have walked into a trap with the Gragas pick. But we do have Elements and Cop picking up the Nunu Corki combo, something we see pretty often.
Yeah, he's got very, very quick fingers. He's very dexterous. He's got the prestidigitation of a master.
He's good at Tetris.
He's very good at Tetris as well. Also, rhythm game's very good. And now it looks like Cop is gonna be rocking Corki and Nunu bot lane. Elements as his support, of course. That's something you usually see, I believe. Anyway, the team lined up here from Curse and Orb are going to be Curse rocking Westrice on Vladimir up top lane, running a flash heal. Sainta Vicious, he put an A in there, so now he's Sainta.
Sainta Vicious.
Sainta Vicious, kind of like Logiclaws. I don't know if you guys saw that video. If you didn't, it's a fantastic little Curse video we made that is it's very Christmassy and fantastic. Sainta Vicious on Alistar in the jungle. Jackie will be rocking Morgana. And as I said, but I will love to reiterate it, Corki Nunu down bot lane, facing square off against a Grave Soraka down bot. We're going to have a Gragas in the mid, Maokai in the jungle, and Aurelia versus Vladimir up top. So I feel like you guys are just in for a show here. I mean, how do you feel about these matchups, Studio? Do you think there's a team comp that is just more favorable than the other, or I mean, what's going to be the deciding factor in this game here?
Well, it's going to come down to these team fights because there's a lot of things that can go wrong and right for both teams. If Maokai gets those good ganks on the top lane, Vladimir can get shut down quite a bit. If Morgana Black Shields every Gragas ult, they will have no good ways to start fights. I think that NY Jackie, with his reaction time, is going to be able to shut down the Maokai Twisted Advance initiation, the Gragas initiation, and if that happens, there's just no team fight presence coming out from oRbit. So I'm liking Curse for this quite a bit.
Okay, so I feel like you're leaving this game mostly in the hands of Jackie's reaction time and skills with Black Shield.
And they're pretty damn good, so I'm comfortable with that.
Wonderful. We've seen this matchup before. We saw there was a Curse King of the Hill series last Thursday. We actually saw Gragas played by Paradoxical versus Morgana, played by Jackie, and Jackie absolutely decimated Paradoxical and Morgana. So we'll see if this is going to be the same thing here. Let's see if he can repeat his star performance. But again, if you guys are just tuning in, this is going to be Curse versus oRbit Gaming here. This is game 1 of the losers bracket. Whoever takes this best of 3 series will go ahead and be dropped out of this IPL San Francisco Face Off 2012.
You put him in a van, we take him to the airport, and we just say, get out.
We just put him right on the nearest plane. You find me the nearest Cessna, and I will put the loser right on it.
Doesn't matter where it's going. If it's even going, we can just sit there. We will put them on it. But we do have a bit of pressure coming out from both sides. So oRbit going for a defensive posture. Curse, they're grouped up in the mid lane, maybe going for some aggression, maybe just want to reveal themselves and just be like, yo, here we are, don't invade, we will catch you. Deal
with it. WP Pooh Bear will be spotted by the entirety of Curse right there. Let's see if anything will become of it. No, it looks like just a nice offensively defensive ward. That's what I've come to call that Wraith ward right there early on. You get to see where the jungle is, but you also get to see where the jungle is not, which is also very important because Maokai, normally he picks up Sapperlings first, starts planting them at those wraiths. He will take the wraiths very, very quickly and then transition over to the blue buff as well. But right now, it looks like Orb Elimination throws down a pink ward to actually counter that ward of Curse at race. And just saying, oh, you wanted vision here? I don't think so.
That's actually really cool. The first time I've actually seen that done, and honestly, the ward is not bad for oRbit either. It's a good defensive ward. If we see any invasion coming out from Curse, they will be spotted, and it's not going to really be happening. So, a very interesting decision. Of course, 25 extra gold for elimination, but he does spend 125 on the ward itself. Blue buff being picked up by both Saint Vicious and Maokai. A very common start, nothing too crazy yet.
Yeah, both junglers, very, very traditional. Nothing out of the ordinary right now. So Orb High is going to pick up that blue buff with a nice little top-off heal from Soraka, just helping her friendly neighborhood tree out right there. Up top, Corki and Nunu going to be against Aurelia, 2v1. Down bottom, you've got Soraka and Graves versus a solo Vladimir. Which solo player is going to be hurt more in this matchup, do you think? Do you think the Vladimir is going to suffer or the Aurelia is going to suffer?
Aurelia is going to have so many more problems. You know, Nunu, Corki, if you get caught up by one snowball, you will take so much damage in response. At the same time, the bot lane, Soraka, not well known for her, you know, pressure.
Oh, what's Saint's going to do here? Looks like he's going to pull High's red buff right now. High does spot it. He throws a ward into the brush. He's going to spot Saint Fish. Is actually kind of just deterring them a little bit. Will Aurelia have time to collapse in on this? Looks like Curse still pinging it. Like they still want to do this. They obviously have the advantage because they have a 2v1 up top. So now if this happened, it would be a 3-on-2 situation, assuming Aurelia came down. And then if the mids came up mid, it would still be in Curse's favor with a 4-on-2 engage. So what is High going to do here? He does not have his smite up. Does Saint Fish have it? Yes, he does indeed secure that red buff. So Saint Fish is actually saving his smite, not using it on the blue buff. And High forced to burn his smite on the blue buff, and it just came off of cooldown. So a little bit of a, you know, it just kind of sucks for High to have had blown his smite on blue buff.
It was a good move from them. Even though they knew the ward was there, they came in from a different route and actually were not spotted until they were already attacking red. At the same time, Aurelia did get a chance to farm up in the top lane, so they're doing decently with that. She actually got some CS. Compared to Vladimir, let's see, she is actually 11 CS ahead. Vladimir only at 1 CS, actually getting pressured quite a bit by Domination and E10. So those bananas and bullets hurting quite a bit.
Yes, indeed. So still no first blood happening right here. High, you know, was made to use that smite at the blue buff. I'm stumbling on my words just a tiny little bit, but the thing about Saint Vicious's counter, actually, speaking of counter jungling and Saint Vicious, he is going to trap. Actually, he knocks High over the wall, and neither of the Curse members follow up because that would put them in a dangerous place. But wow, what an unfortunate miss of the combo there from Saint Vicious. Very, very badly played.
Is he actually got the combo. Never mind, they are going aggressive, but decided to back off in the bot lane. He got the combo off, but he still sent him through the wall, like that little tiny distance.
It looked like he just got stuck in the tree line a little bit.
It looked kind of weird. It was very unique.
Like he wanted to go hug a tree or something. I wasn't quite sure what was up with Maokai.
Maokai is a big tree fan, so maybe he
exactly. See, he just wanted to be with his family. Are you too good for your home, Maokai? Are you too good for your home?
Can you be more like Skarner?
So still 0 kills on the board. About a 200 gold advantage for Orb right now, just from farming, literally. Vladimir only 8 CS. Aurelia has managed to double his CS effectively, has 17, 18 CS right now as it just now ticks up. Cop on Corki has 23 CS to Graves. Nian on Graves has 32 CS. So Graves building a little bit of an advantage there, but both 2v1s pushing very, very hard into each other's turrets.
And this is what we see quite often, just, you know, if you get the first turret, if you have that option to go ahead, take it down and go to a different lane, maybe swap back to top so it's a normal lane, it's a strong setup just because you can go ahead, push very hard and just have good control of the map because guess what? Their turret's down, they have to respond. But Saint Vicious actually in the top lane, they could be going for a dive here. Yuzuki is level 5, does not have a whole lot to keep him alive.
Yeah, Saint Vicious has spent more time in the enemy jungle, I think, than his own jungle right now. He's on a vacation. But he bought a condominium over there, and he is just moving in. Saint Fish is just kind of messing with Yuzuki a little bit. He's going to do a little dance. Let's see what happens. Will anything become of it? High, very, very low on mana. Throws a sapling out. Could we see first blood right here? Saint Fish is trying to chase onto them with his red buff, but actually decides to pull out. They're all going to walk away from that. Still, you know, there's been several ganks up top, and just no first blood are becoming it. No successful ganks up there.
They're keeping the pressure. You know, Yuzuki is still getting the experience, though, and that's the big issue. So I really will hit level 6. We'll get that amazing ultimate. We'll get that farm potential. Vladimir going to be the same deal, but if you look at the turret, bot turret's at about half HP. Top turret, you know, it has a bit more HP, so the lane's really going a little bit more in favor of oRbit. At the end, though, this is such a small difference. It can easily be made up. One good play can just completely change up what's been going on so far.
Yeah, 100%. It looks like the bot lane of Orb is going to take this opportunity to go back while those minions are pushed into the enemy turret. And it looks like they're going to go back and actually have a handoff. They're going to hand the 2v1 baton off onto a see another one-on-one situation. The exact counter lane that Orb wanted from the very beginning, the Aurelia versus Vladimir combo. In the meantime, Elements and Cops are up top are going to actually put a lot of pressure on this turret. Will they be able to take it down before High makes it there? High is trying to book it on over there. He does throw a sapling, but Cop focusing on the turret. Will the minions take it down? No, it goes about 100 health. That was at 70 health
70 HP.
right now that top turret is at. And, you know, taking it is one thing. Putting it down to 70 health is also
top
good.
lane, though. He actually roots elements. Intenso's right behind him, trying to get some damage done. He does get out of there, and 70 HP. You're right. That's a sneeze. That's a Corki sneeze. His airplane can sneeze and kill that turret.
Yeah, and a Curse I can see using that to their advantage. Now, usually when you tower dive with a full health turret, something that you can't expect to kill mid tower dive, it's very, very scary. Now that Alistar has the option to tower dive a 70 health turret, of course he's going to do it. He's going to love it, because if things start going awry, he can just punch the tower and it'll go down. But right now, Hai actually caught in his own jungle. Again, same Vicious. Really, really loving the enemy jungle right now. He's very, very aggressively counter jungling. And not even if he's taking all the camps, he's just in there.
He's just annoying.
Yeah, annoying, exactly. And that's what he's trying to do. He wants to make it so that Hai L9 has to, like, just think of every brush he goes into. He has to sapperling every brush he wants to face check. He's making it so that St. Vicious wants to be in the back of Hai's mind while he's even in his own jungle.
He is spending so much mana playing defensive. Hai is actually, at the same amount of jungle that St. Vicious is. St. Vicious, he's been just, being a jerk across the map rather than jungling.
Yeah, and it looks like the first turret of the game could potentially go to Orb. They've done a whole lot more work on that tier 1 top turret, but still, you do have to remember Orb's tier 1 top turret is at 70 health right now. There's another lane switch, so we're still seeing a 2-on-1 situation, of course, and that Phosphorus Bomb and True Damage is doing a lot to Aurelia down bot. I don't know how much longer she can last down there.
They did have Maokai expecting the dive, but Maokai's retreated, and this is the perfect chance for Curse to go ahead and apply this pressure. Yuzuki is level 6, now level 7, does have the ult. Actually, ultimate used in the top lane. Westeros trying to go ahead and fight Intenso, does get exhausted, does not do a whole lot, will go ahead and defend the tower successfully, but a lot of damage taken, and of course Intenso still has a heal coming in from Domination on Soraka.
He's trying to buy a little time up there. He was using the ultimate mainly, I would say, to clear waves. If he had gotten a kill on either Graves or Soraka, that just would have been icing on the cake. That just would have been a happy birthday for him. But it didn't happen. He cleared the wave, though, and saved his tower, and that was what he was going for. But for how long? That tower is so low up top. Both towers, both tier 1 turrets for both teams are very, very low. But the first tower of the game is going to go to Curse down bot with a tier 1 turret push. Looking very, very strong right now. And this is exactly what it seems that Curse has kind of adopted from their eastern counterparts in the Zubu Blaze that they played in MLG Summer Arena.
So they push on that turret, they will swap back on, and now they have the control. They can take out that top turret that they already lowered, really gain a very, not massive gold lead, but something small, something significant enough with turrets. And when turrets go down, it's not just the gold you get, you also get the map control, just because your minions, they can push farther. There's a lot more fog of war that your enemy will have to cover, and oRbit, it's going to be tricky for them to have that map control, because if Alistar is in the wrong bush, they will die.
Yes, St. Fish is picking up an Oracles as well. I don't believe anyone on the team of oRbit has made the investment of an Oracles yet, but I mean, this is the 4th game in a row of Curse that we've cast, the first 3 being Curse versus Singapore Sentinels, and I have yet to see St. Vicious wait more than like 5 minutes to buy an Oracles. He's buying Oracles so quickly in every game he plays. But on a jungler, on a very tanky, beefy, a great CC jungler like Alistar, it just makes a whole lot of sense.
He will not go too crazy. He will play aggressively. He will not just go for suicides, though. He knows that because he made the investment, it will pay off if he can stay alive and just clear those wards, maybe for about 10 minutes. So he will be relatively passive. Like, he will go for ganks, but only ganks he feels confident about. Top turret now being pushed in by Curse, only 70 HP, so it's going to be hard for them to hold. Actually, Tenso takes a lot of damage. The ultimate is used by Elements. Absolute Zero will get the full channel off. They do take out the Intenso. Domination, can you survive? No. They take him out. The turret goes down. Wow, Curse. Wow.
Yeah, and at any point in time, Cop could have just put one auto attack on that turret and taken it down. They felt comfortable in the tower dive. They had the flash Absolute Zero, and just fantastically played by Curse up top, able to pick up a double kill. And finally, first blood here as we're entering the 11th minute. So 2-0 right now, up 2k gold, up 1 turret, 2 tier 1 turrets down. Is this, I mean, this feels like a Zubu Blaze right now. I mean, usually, I think the fastest time a Zubu did it at the Summer Arena was like 9 minutes. They had 2 turrets down.
It was pretty fast, but at the same time, oRbit, they tried to go for a swap. They tried to go ahead and counter the lanes. Curse just had none of that. Swapped again, and Soraka used the infuse too early. That was Elements' chance to go, wait, they can't stop the Absolute Zero. I can kill them now. It was a great play. I gotta say, Elements is looking solid. People have criticized him in the past before, but he's played very well this tournament, very well recently in general.
Yeah, I love the way Nubby Pooh Bear is playing though. Nubby Pooh Bear right now is is holding on to 97 CS to Jackie's 104. So he's keeping up in a lane that we've seen Jackie dominate before. But Nubby Pooh Bear playing it smart, playing it safe, waiting for his time. He's not doing the mistake that Paradoxical made, the other night in the King of the Hill series, was he was using his body slam to farm. And as soon as Gragas got in there with the body slam, Jackie said, okay, I'm going to ult you, and you're either going to flash or you're going to die. Those are the two options I'm giving you, but Nubby Pooh Bear not doing such a thing.
It was like a birthday present, just like a fat man being delivered to NY Jackie via body slam, which is really kind of beautiful to think about. But at the same time, Curse, now they have 3 mid, now they're pressuring this outer turret, and once this happens, if Curse plays it like Blaze has in the past, they will push in all the lanes, play super aggressive, make sure that every time oRbit gets into a fight, it's on unfavorable terms, and if they do win the fight, the creeps will be so pushed in, they can't take a turret. Maybe one, tops.
I feel like there are some services out there to get a fat man hand delivered to your door, but I'm not quite sure. I'm sure a quick Google search with your safe filter off would be able to relinquish those results.
That would change the stream quite a bit.
Indeed it would. Here comes Nubby Pooh Bear trying to aggress onto Jackie, but the Black Shield will block the twisted advance, and there's those reaction times. Now Jackie, I feel like he's always holding down the alt key, ready to hit E at any point in time.
oRbit going to go for this dragon right now. They do see Corki in the top lane. Vladimir is bot. They have a good flank coming out from Curse, but it will still be a 4v5 if they decide to engage this.
What's Curse going to do here? Orb right now is collapsing upon this dragon, but so is Curse right in tow. But it looks like Jackie, like half mana, quarter to half mana right now. Will he be able to get a full combo off? There's the aggressive flash, pulverized headbutt combo onto 3 members. The Hemo plate goes down, landing onto 3 members of Orb, and Maokai is the first one to go down. Elimination may fall, but the Soraka heal and ultimate will save his life, but Yuzuki may not be as lucky. He will go down to the auto attack damage of Cop, and now Elements chasing on to Elimination, down to 100 health. One more auto attack will take him down. Graves falls, and now Nubby Pooh Bear running for his life, just jogging on out of there. Does he have the stamina to make it? I know he is a very, very large man, but it looks like he will, and that is a 4 for no exchange in the favor of Curse. And a dragon.
Yeah, they get the 4,000 gold lead. They get the blue buff. They get dragon. Curse playing incredibly well. Saint Vicious, I gotta see that flash into a pulverized headbutt pulverized combo it was elegant. It set up everything. Let NY Jackie come with the follow-up, and then even Elements got a full absolute 0 onto 3 people. So they have an AoE composition. They are using it well. They're playing as a team, looking at what cooldowns are up, what cooldowns are down for oRbit, and just punishing them every chance they get. It's quite a gold lead for just, the 14-minute mark, 15-minute mark even, and they're ahead 5,000. That's insane.
Yeah, Curse looks like they have the pedal to the metal. As far as farm is concerned on 80 carries, you got 5.2k gold on Cop to 3.8k gold on Graves. That's 105 CS to 108 CS difference, and 3-0 and 2 on Corki to 0-2 and 0 on Graves.
His pickaxe turned into an Infinity Edge. That is such just a jump in items. Now Cop is going to have the amazing damage that NY Jackie has right now. Like Curse, they can just kind of do what they want. It's going to be really hard for oRbit to engage. That Black Shield will shut down any sort of engagement they have. They can't use Gragas, they can't use Maokai. I guess that really is pretty fast. Maybe that will catch Jackie by surprise.
Possibly. We'll see what happens. Nubby Pooh Bear is rocking a Blasting Wand and 2 Doran's Rings, while Jackie went for his favorite, Abyssal Scepter, opting to not get Tier 2 boots just yet. I wouldn't be surprised if he never got Tier 2 boots. Jackie just loves keeping Tier 1 boots and saving that, 600 to 700 gold investment, depending on which kind of boots you get. So he's going to hold on to Tier 1 boots. But as you said, Corki went back and turned a pickaxe straight into an Infinity Edge. That is like roughly a 2,700 gold investment that he went back with. So he went back with a very large investment. Right now, it looks like St. Fish actually used his ultimate to get out of the CC that was put onto him, but it looks like nothing's going to come of it. Curse is just going to pull out of that one. Corki has a path to take. He can go the Trinity Force that some people do, just like Ezreal, or he can go the Infinity Edge. Or with the aggression right here, gets the Twisted Advance off on one of the members. The Hemo Plague will tick onto 2 members. Will it bring down High? I think he will survive just barely with sub 100 health. He will walk out of that one. He almost got cut down. He almost got lumberjacked.
Luckily, Lumberjack's Tie not in this game. He does get the extra damage against Maokai. And the thing is, Corki, he can go for Triforce, he can go for Phantom Dancer. Really, I think they want to go just for more damage because they're so far ahead. If oRbit builds tanky, they're not going to have enough damage to actually contest any sort of fight. So if he gets that Triforce, yeah, he gets a bit more HP, a bit more control. But if he gets that Phantom Dancer, he will just be shooting rockets from with those swords being Hansing somehow and just obliterate anybody who shoots, and maybe I think 5 shots.
Did you just like talk about sword rockets?
Yeah, I mean, well, you get the
I'm okay with that.
A couple swords.
I'm okay with
edge.
that.
Sword
I'm
rockets.
Quite all right with sword rockets. If there's
Don't
anything
get
that
hit
needs to
by
be
those.
made, it's sword rockets. Right now, it looks like Hai is going to take his own race. He will be spotted by Curse and pinged as well. Little does he know they are pinging his face off right now. Still an Oracle's, I believe, square on the shoulders of Elements. No, St. just had it. I apologize. No Oracles yet from Orb, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, Elimination did just pick one up, so he's going to start doing his civic duty of clearing those wards with the Oracles right above his head, getting a little 25 gold bonus every time he clears that ward. It's just like a bonus, just like a Christmas bonus right there for his paycheck.
For supports, this is like, you know, just the best gift of all, more than like 5 gold.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome for them. But it is a 400 gold investment, which can be sizable because, you know, support's not known for their large bank accounts. They're very, very poor.
The exception being those awesome kill-stealing supports. If you're ever playing support, please steal as many kills as you can.
Please do. I implore you to steal as many kills as... It's not KS, it's not kill stolen, it's kill secured.
Yep.
Kill secured,
and
100%.
KS as much as you can, man.
Right now, St. Vicious is clearing out the wards of Orb around the Baron pit area. It's his 18-minute mark, so Baron did spawn roughly 3 minutes ago. Baron does scale. You know, he gets harder as time goes on, so maybe would we see an early Baron here from Curse, or are we just going to see a bait in that brush? There's a Dark Binding and Tormented Sword. Hai absolutely decimated by the damage from Curse. Isn't he supposed to be tanky? Did he not get the memo to be tanky?
I mean, look at his items. He just has mobility boots, a Philostone, and a Heart of Gold. He doesn't have anything. The pressure from St. Vicious really paying off. Hai does not have the time nor the money to get tanky, and because of that, you know, they can't check bushes unless it's just a sapling. Tenso does get rooted under the turret. Are they going to dive this? It looks like they are. He gets blown up immediately. NY Jack in front of everybody. Hitting so many people. Aurelia goes down. Elimination goes down. Nubby Pooh Bear barely gets out of there. Hai, the only reason he's alive is because he just respawned in base.
He just respawned, and he respawned to his entire team being dead, except for Gragas. Gragas being the last man standing, drinking like a little booze over it. He's pouring one out for his homies, I'm sure, over there on the steps of his base. But right now, it looks like Curse is just going to pressure this turret. That barrel still is not, it's not too little damage to scoff at. It still does great AoE damage, so you can't sit there. Curse cannot sit there with such low health and expect to win a poke war, especially against a Gragas, who is close to finishing his Rabadon's death cap. He has 151 CS, 1-0-0, so hasn't made the impact, of course, that Nye Jackie is making right now at 1-0-6, facilitating a lot of kills for his team. He is only 200 gold behind Jackie right now because he's kept up so exceptionally well in FAR.
Now, I have to say, there are a lot of things right now going wrong for Orb, but the levels, we have not talked about them yet. Hai is level 8, Elimination is level 8, St. Vicious 10, Elements is 10, so the supports are falling behind. Hai is just, he's so squishy, not because of items, but because he just doesn't have any experience. Like, he does not have the levels to take damage yet. And Curse right now, they're hitting gold, they're hitting levels, and just the base stats are getting, combined with the items, it's so hard for oRbit to deal with. A 6,500 gold lead at the 20-minute mark.
That's what comes with having 9 kills to your name, and also with Dragon. Curse looking very, very good right now. Orb's still not completely out of it. You know, they do have Aurelia who can get to that late game. If she makes it to that late game, she can be really, really scary. But it doesn't look like there's gonna be a late game here.
It looks like by the time oRbit reaches late game, either Curse is disconnected or they've had some miraculous turnaround. I mean, Curse, they're heading into this match so well. They have the items, they have the support items, so that referee to initiate fights well. They can just really do what they want, and I don't know if there's a good answer from oRbit. They can't use their skills because of Black Shield.
Yeah, and there's a twisted advance from Hai, but as soon as he comes out of the intangible mark, he is hit by a Dark Binding, followed up by Soul Shackles. Nye Jackie gonna follow up on that kill, followed by Hemo Plague, and now Yuzuki tried his best to stick to Cop, but it is for naught. He will go down to 4 members of Curse, and this is gonna be really, really bad for Orb in the end. Dark Binding, just to execute you, just to end your life right there. So now your corpse can't move.
Corpse rooted in place. Your gravestone has to go right there, Graves.
Gravestone?
The gravestone. Ah.
Oh, man.
Was it even intentional? But we do have the Baron being looked at. Nope, they're just going to go ahead, play defensively on Curse. I like this quite a bit. They're not going for Baron. They have the option to, but they're scared of the steal from Nubby Pooh Bear because SGS earlier had an amazing steal with Gragas.
Yeah, they did. Gragas did a nice ultimate to steal a dragon really, really early game against Curse, and that kind of just set the tone. I wouldn't couldn't say whether Curse is just scared of just that in particular, or whether they're just a hair too low to go ahead and try such a bold move as to go for Baron when you've just won a pretty decent team fight.
And like, do they really need Baron? Their damage is perfectly fine. All right, they'll deal a bit more damage, but they don't actually need it. So they can save it for when they want to apply extra pressure. But the Baron, as long as that's up, guess what? oRbit has to be afraid of it. So not taking the Baron is actually a pretty good strategic move.
Well said, well said. Just because what happens there is that Baron is usually something that tips the scales in one direction or another, especially when things at this point in the game, when we're entering the 23rd minute mark, are very, very even. Baron will, once you win a team fight, your consolation prize, your door prize is Baron. But right now, Curse doesn't need the Baron to win. They're up 12 kills. They're up like 8k gold. They don't really need it, so they're not going to risk it. That's exactly what they're doing. They're playing very, very intelligently. Right now, Vladimir does have his Will of the Ancients. He does have a Negatron cloak right now, just in case. The only person that's really doing decent, I would say, on oRbit right now is Gragas. He's 1-0-0, 186 CS. Nubby Pooh Bear doing a great job of farming, putting on a clinic of farming. You know, school's in, kids. If you want to learn about farming, watch Nubby Pooh Bear on Gragas right here. He's doing really, really well. But that doesn't mean a whole lot if your team can't follow up. If the rest of your lanes have fallen behind in such a way that they can't make up for the deficit, then who cares if you have 3,000 CS, you know, at the 10-minute mark? If you can't team fight, it's not going to work.
If you can't have your team back you up, unless those barrels are going to one-shot people, it's not going to matter enough.
Yeah.
Actually, Baron being done by Curse right now, there is no answer from oRbit. I think this was just going to be for pressure, but they didn't show up, and, well, it's now a 10,000 gold lead. They have Baron. They can do what they want. They can Mundo. They can go where they please, and I do not think oRbit can stop them right now.
Yeah, they very well can. They're going to take a nice leisurely stroll up mid lane, see if they can knock at this turret's front door and perhaps take it down. Is that building supposed to be condemned? It looks like it is. It's got a sign out front. But the great wave clear from Gragas, actually. You know, you can't really push into what you can't really tank, and that's what they're expecting. That's what they're expecting minions to do right now, but a great over the wall, long range, dark binding. Jackie, absolutely a sniper with those things this game, and he is just pinpoint with dark binding so far.
Morgana, the new sniper, move over Caitlyn. We don't want you anymore. Though I have to say, with the pressure, you know, it's hard to defend the turrets because you get hit by a binding, all of a sudden you're at risk of just losing a fight. Because if they have Westrice go in or even St. Vicious go in with that black shield on them, what can oRbit do? You know, I think picks are really just, you know, hurting them right now. This next turret's going to go down. Only one outer turret's going to be left for oRbit. Everything else is going to be up to the inhibitors. This is scary. This is like the guillotine falling. They are so far behind, and it's incredibly difficult to recover from this position.
Yeah, this is a slow motion car wreck that you just can't look away from. I did love St. Vicious's positioning there between the tier 2 and tier 3 bot turret. What was happening there is, you know, Curse is back in the back line, sieging the turret. St. Vicious went in between the tier 2 and tier 3 turret, was like, I dare you to make a move. I dare you. I am a 1-0-8 Alistar with 104 CS Australias and the working of, and boots of mobility with the working of an Aegis. Come on, come at me, bro. That's pretty much what he was saying right in the middle of those two turrets. And Orb wanted nothing of it.
Alistar's not normally that tanky aside from his ultimate, but with the position St. Vicious has gotten himself into, he can go ahead, take quite a bit of damage. Like, he doesn't need to rely on the ult. He can tank. And that's a scary concept, because if he gets, you know, 2 pulverizes off in a fight, that's 2 incredibly long CCs, and it looks like he can. It looks like if oRbit gets into a fight, they will just not have the sustainability. They will not have the HP nor the damage to really keep fighting. So, I mean, 40,000 gold already on the Curse, and they're still almost barely breaking the 30,000 mark, not even quite there yet on oRbit.
Yeah, I also see, interestingly enough, Aurelia has Zerker's Greaves. Which says one thing to me. Aurelia has a passive, of course, everyone knows, the Ionian Fervor. It makes her more slippery. It reduces crowd control with X number of champions around with a maximum of 3. So each champion around adds a little bit more percentage reduction, kind of tenacity, if you will. So she's either saying, I'm going to let that do all the work for me for my tenacity, or she's saying, the biggest CC I'm worried about is Alistar, because the one thing that doesn't you can't mitigate knockup at all. You know, Jarvan's knockup, Alistar's knockup. You could have a billion tenacity. You're going to get knocked up for the full duration. So she's obviously saying, I'm just going to do as much damage as possible with my quick auto attacks, my quick true damage, and try to take someone down with me because it's looking dire for Orb right now.
It's a good decision. You know, she could pick up the Merc Treads, but then someone like Nunus would still get a really long duration because of just how good Ice Blast is. I believe it lasts 4 seconds, which is awesome. And at the same time, you know, if Alistar is knocking up Yuzuki, there is nothing he can do. There's a very brief stun, but it will not matter. If he gets knocked up, if he gets hit by a binding, he's probably dead anyways. So he's playing to what he thinks what will happen. It's like, if I get hit, I'm going to die, might as well go offensive.
And here we go, Curse going to start pressuring his tower. They are standing right in the middle of the vengeful maelstrom of Maokai, but it looks like they're just going to pull out. They got that turret down to about 3/4 health with 1 siege. Will they continue to do it? Will they try to push down this mid turret and take the inhibitor while the Baron is still up on them? They have it for just a little bit longer. It'll be out in just a second. In fact, speak of the devil, that is no more Baron. And wow, it looked like that that lizard actually kind of just popped into the cave for a second to take a quick nap, and then St. Fish just brought it right back, taking that red buff straight out of Orb's hands. And now it looks like Orb the one's moving slowly but surely up the mid lane. They realize that Corki is down bot. They realize Alistar is up top. What are they going to do with that information? Are they going to try to collapse when St. Fish is up top? Or are they just going to go and just counter push what he's done? It looks like that is what they're going to do. Orb, I don't think they can win team fights that they're engaged upon. You know, they can't win team fights that aren't on their terms.
If the fight starts and, you know, Alistar is using Black Shield and headbutting them, pulverizing them, or even just Voice Strikes like runs up, yeah, they're gone. The thing is, they can't initiate fights themselves either because of Morgana. The Morgana just, it counters a lot of orbit. Now the Pooper can't use his ultimate, and the thing is, Twisted Advance is very slow. It's an incredibly slow skill. If it does actually land and connect, through a Black Shield, or before jacking a Black Shield, he's not paying attention. That's just the problem Twisted Advance has. He has to like wind himself up, then go underground, and he's not that fast. No,
not at all. But the thing, Orb just, they need to get one catch. They need to catch one member of Curse. They need, I mean, throw them a bone right now. They are down 12 kills. They're down 14k gold. Curse is having a field day. Curse, this is their game to lose. You know, yeah. They would have to throw it at this point. And you know, I'm sure there's gonna be comments and stuff of people saying, "Oh, Pluto, he's so biased." But I mean, you got to look at this from objective, empirical facts. Curse is very, very far ahead. I'm not saying Orb lost the game already because crazier things have happened, but it would take a lot of mistakes from Curse. And hey, they make mistakes. I can tell you that much firsthand experience.
They definitely do make mistakes, but 14,000 gold, that is a big number for a gold difference. This isn't even like late game. This is still pretty early, only the 30-minute mark. And Curse, they're not taking any chances. This is actually, you know, pretty good about them. They're not going for these risky pushes. They're not going for risky Barons. They're just playing very cautiously, very safe. And that's what makes it so hard for oRbit, because they already have a composition that's going to have trouble getting that special catch, that something to actually win a fight. And the way Curse is playing, they're making it so there is just no opening to actually get punished ever.
Yeah, and double Zanya's coming out for Curse on Vladimir and Morgana. That's just going to make the team fighting more annoying. Hai actually pops Australia, is trying to get over here and stop the blue buff steal. He won't make it in time. But I mean, was it really worth Australia's? I guess it doesn't have a long cooldown whatsoever, but just wanted to speed up a little bit. It looked like traffic was a little bit bad on the blue buff express.
I mean, the thing is, like, they're looking for the opening. It's like, maybe West Rice will be alone. Maybe he won't see us. Maybe we can catch him. It did not happen. Now the referee's blown. Curse knows it. They saw it because of good warding, and they can initiate a fight, and there's no real escape for oRbit.
No, what will St. Fishes do now? He has his oracles. He looks like he's going to charge headlong in the Dark Binding. If that Dark Binding had hit, like, that's what Curse is waiting on. They're saying, if you get an opportunity, Saint, to flash, pulverize, do it, and we will engage. We will follow you to the ends of the earth. Or if a Dark Binding lands, go, do it. We will follow you to the ends of the earth. So two big options for Curse here, trying to engage in a team fight that they know that they can win. Now they know the Baron timer. They're obviously going to get it. Will Gragas be able to steal it from a Consume Smite Nunu? No, he will not be able to. He didn't even really make it into the area. They do throw a sapling over the wall to realize it is now taken. Now Graves all the way down bottom. That Curse is very aware of it. Are they going to put? They are going to see just, it looks like, coming down the mid lane, trying to push as hard as possible. But again, stupid wave clear from Orb, but it does not matter. St. Vicious says, I'm just going to take this with my face, and he does. I mean, that Alistar ultimate is doing so much work for them right now, able to take down, just proxy the creep wave. And that just means St. Vicious is saying, I'm kind of like a creep. I'll take tower hits. I've got a super ultimate. No big deal.
He's on full HP. With the ultimate, with the Baron buff, he took no damage. Actually, recalling in their faces, they could stop him, but, you know, it would be dangerous, even with how far Curse is. So what they did was they waited until they had the items. So look at the items. Now there's a Frozen Heart on Alistar. He can tank a turret incredibly well. They have the two Zonias on both Vladimir and Morgana. A Guardian Angel has been finished onto Corki. So they really are not likely to die. They have the offensive items. They have the defensive items. If Curse gets into a fight, like, they have everything they want just to win it. I guess they're only missing a Reverie onto Nunu. That's the last big item they can really get.
But Alistar's got it covered, so it's not that big of a problem.
It's not even a big deal. So they're doing well. They're doing fine. They can just kind of leisurely take this game. You know, as long as it doesn't take another 20-30 minutes, they'll be fine.
I hope it does not, but we'll see. You know, it could be an exciting turnaround from Orb here. You never know what's going to happen. We were just talking, you know, in between games, League of Legends, esports, crazy scenes out there. You know, anything could happen. Anyone can win. I don't know if you guys were watching the Nick Allen interview with Jake Muffin QT Lowry, but Jake was saying, you know, I love how there's no one clear winner for every tournament. You know, it used to be a while ago, it was like, oh, CLG or TSM will take this. But now you've got a lot of different teams from a lot of different places winning tournaments.
There is no dominant team. We actually do have the push coming out from Curse onto the turret, getting a lot of damage on it. St. Vicious just sitting there saying, yo, start something, start something. They do start something. High roots Westrise, and they just go ahead. Actually, root Nubby Pooper. He's in a dangerous position now, taking a lot of damage. Does get blown up. Levin Nation and the rest of oRbit being chased out. A lot of damage just from that Vladimir ult. This inhibitor will go down.
I would not be surprised if we see a surrender here from Orb right now. They are 2 inhibitors down. It looks like Curse is going to posture up and take a 3rd inhibitor, saying, you don't really need this. I'm going to go ahead and take this for myself. Again, the proxy creep that St. Vicious is doing, just using his unbreakable will to mitigate a lot of that damage. Nian actually forcing to burn his cleanse because of that Dark Binding and Quick Draw, trying to put out some damage on Jackie, but it is going to be for nothing. 3 inhibitors down now. Curse, I mean, they have to, like, drop dead to lose here.
They have to really screw up in the next 10 or so seconds. Nubby Pooh Bear isn't alive for 20 seconds. Actually, ult used by MY Jackie, trying to pick up Nintendo. He does flash to the Nexus, will heal up. No, he doesn't, actually. Westrise takes him down. How rude, Westrise. They're taking out the final Nexus turrets. They will take out this game. They will take it and win.
It looks like in here chat, people probably saying GG, people saying GG, GG, baby, baby. I don't quite know, but it has been a great game. And Curse with an absolutely commanding performance here. This was Curse versus oRbit. Game 1, Curse wins. Up 14 kills. Up 21